about demand factors. Okay, demand factors, right? So in your school notes, you have demand factors as well, and I went through one round. So anything you don't understand from there, I can assist. Okay, we had supply factors. Okay, and these two are still not that hard to understand, but I do know there's quite a lot to memorize. So I gave you acronyms, right? We had expectations. We had government policy. Okay, e.g., then Y, you will learn in econs, Y always stands for income. Okay, so it's a short form. Even in macroecons, okay, next year, Y always stands for income. Okay, P stands for the price of related goods. Okay, so when you say price of related goods, anyone knows what are the related goods we are talking about here? From a demand point of view, what are related goods? If I look at Coke and Pepsi, they are up to the S. Substitutes. Yeah, very good. Okay, they are substitutes. So you have substitutes. Now, why I put this down is because later we'll come back to this concept and introduce a new concept. Okay. And if you look at other things like your PlayStation console and your PlayStation game, they are not substitutes, they are complements. Okay, complements. Actually, okay, so you have EGYP, and the last one is taste and preference. Okay, so I shared this with you as well, which is you should be prepared to see more, okay, more of these factors in your school notes. But one reason why I don't put all of them in is because you don't use most of them. All right, like your pencil case, you're not going to bring a green color pen that you hardly use. All right, I mean, provided you don't, but we bring along what is essential. When there are cases such that other factors are necessary, then I'll tell you on a case-by-case basis. But Egypt gets the job done. Okay, so E, G, Y, P, T, that's Egypt. Okay, now moving on to supply factors. We have an acronym as well, but this is technology. T for technology. Okay. A is a rather broad factor. It just describes abnormal events, things that can happen out of the ordinary. And usually we are talking about agriculture, okay, or livestock, where you have pandemics, you have bad weather, all right? All these can affect your harvest or your livestock availability, okay? So the next one is P, price of related goods. So once again, we have related goods here. And related goods, hello, no worries, no worries. We just started recap, okay? When we say related goods and supply, no, we're not looking at substitutes, we are not looking at complements. In the world of supply, related goods refer to, anyone else? Now, we always use the example of beef and leather. They are goods in joint supply. Yes, joint supply. Joint supply. And then the next one will be competitive supply. If I have a plot of land, I can use it to plant corn, or I can use it to plant wheat. Joint and competitive supply. Okay. E stands for expectations. Okay. Expectations of price. So I said before, if they expect the price to go up, usually being profit driven, they will withhold the supply. They sell less now. Keep it until the prices go up and they sell it. Okay. The last one refers to a very broad one, subsidy, tax, or any factor influencing or affecting your cost of production. Okay? And some of you will say, okay, maybe I'll spell this out as costs of production. You might say, why not call it cost of production? I thought about that, but it doesn't sound nice when it's P-A-P-E-C, TAPEC. I prefer T-A-P-E-S. That's the first reason. Second reason, in the past, when I say cost of production, and if the question comes out as subsidy, because it's a new concept in econs, some people do not know that affects the COP. COP as in cost of production. Okay, so I think maybe you can say I'm trying to justify my own acronym at the end, but it goes as CAPES. Okay, so why am I laying them out now? Because later we are going to run through an article together. Because when you do case studies, you will be reading news articles, not blogs. Huh? Okay, so I think we need to hone our analytical skills. And after the article is done, we will go through an actual case study. Okay. Because seeing that most of you don't have much holiday homework for econs, if you do, not much assistance is needed. Okay, I will probably not run through your homework first. But if you have queries and you want to come in again on Saturday, so I can spend maybe the first 15 minutes going through your holiday homework, you are very much welcome to do so. Just send your questions, 15 minutes, log in through Zoom. After that, ciao, it's okay. Okay, yeah. So supply, demand. PED, you all still remember PED, yeah? So if you don't, this week is quite nice. If you're not going anywhere, not going to Malaysia like a lot of Singaporeans are going, okay, you can spend time going through our video recording to recap PED. Okay, so PED is about how responsive consumers are when the price changes. Do they have a knee-jerk reaction, or do they not alter their behavior much? Okay, so these PED factors, I had P for proportion of income. I just did a small infograph on this and I sent to you all through WhatsApp. Yeah. So A for addiction. If you have certain things you find a bit hard to visualize, you can send in your request. I'll try to do an infograph on it. Okay. And if it doesn't look nice, you can tell me also. Okay, then I'll try again. Okay. Yeah. Then I improve too. Okay. So proportion of income, addiction. Next one, we think of it as necessity, or I believe in NJ, they call it habitual consumption. So it goes by different names in different schools. I will defer to your school, whatever your school does. Okay. T, time period, as substitutes. Okay. So PED factors, we have P, A, N, T, S. Okay. Parents. Later, I'll just give you an overall, maybe you will just take maybe 1-2 minutes, go through the whole list, tell me which one you're not sure. Okay. And then PES factors, which means how fast can producers respond when the price changes. Imagine when the price goes up, how quickly can they churn out more output? So we have T for time period. Okay, usually we talk about things like, hey, if you're in agriculture, if you're growing livestock, you need time for the grass to grow. You need time for the babies to grow into the big adult versions, whether they are chickens or whether they are cows or any other livestock. Okay, gestation period. T for time period. I for nature of industry. Yes, nature industry. Remember Xerox. If you want 10 copies of a document, I Xerox for you. So that is really a capital intensive one. Versus what's the other one? If not capital intensive, the alternative is to be labor. Yes, to be labor intensive, right? Labor intensive will be things like textiles, agriculture. Okay. Mining. Mining is also very labor intensive. Mine workers need to go down the shaft to do the mining. Okay. Next one, mobility of your FOP. Mobility of your factors of production. Remember, I tied this to the skill level. Okay, whether the person has high skills or low skills, doctors versus delivery riders, even tutors. Okay, yes. Next one, existence of spare capacity. Spare capacity means land, labor, capital, unutilized. Still, you can utilize them to produce more. Okay? Spare capacity could even be part-time workers who can convert to full-time. Okay? Stocks. TIMES. Okay. Any